talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things
and all the bad things.
Welcome to episode number 40 of Boob Tube Podcast. I am Chantel.
And I'm your best friend, Jaleesa.
And we are here for another great episode, particularly in honor of Black History Month. We're going to go down history lane with Black Boob History Month. So stay tuned. But before we do, let's take it to the streets. What have you noticed about women's skin tone in the bras they wear?
Skin tone in the bras they wear. Again, I'm a person about matching, and the old skit from or the part of the movie Boomerang, coordinate, right? You got to coordinate. So
okay.
I like a woman that knows how to coordinate, and again, like if you have on bright colors, again, make sure that the bra is matching, but also if you have on like nudes and things like that, why do you have on a hot pink bra? Unless you're trying to just accentuate something, I don't know, but that was
It sounds like you pay attention. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I do pay attention. I like a stylish woman and a woman who is, thinking about what she's putting on and how she's putting it on.
Okay. What have you noticed about women's skin tone in the bras they wear?
I don't know if I've ever seen women trying to match skin tone and bra unless it's like a nude type of color. That's a good question. I don't think I've really noticed the skin tone versus the bra. I feel like I've seen women wear like red bras, different colored bras, and they don't usually match their skin at all. So I don't think I've ever really
Do you think
noticed.
it complements the skin sometimes, the certain bra color that they're wearing? Do you think it might complement their skin?
I could maybe see that. I haven't noticed it though.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that from going forward,
A lot of us are now. How does skin tone play a role in what bras you choose to buy and wear, like color-wise?
So skin tone, I always go for like nude or black because that's like more, I guess you could say in fashion because it goes to like with other different clothes that you can wear, and plus it covers you up with like the clothes and stuff that you wear. So I like it.
Okay. How does skin tone play a role in what bras you choose to buy and wear?
Okay, so they play a huge role. I think growing up, I remember not even just when it came to bras, even shoes, and like they would say nude color, and I'd look at them and I'd be like, this is not my color.
Yeah,
like,
who's nude?
Who's nude? And so it was just always this awkward feeling like I knew if I wore something I had to wear a black bra. It was either nude that wasn't my nude or it was black, and there was no in between. And so now the variety of like seeing different brands that have skin colors that are my skin color is just so exciting because I never thought that was a possibility before.
Yes.
What did we ask them? Skin tone.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did we ask?
So yeah, it was cool because somebody had said like they never thought about that.
I
with
had
them
thought about
wearing
it.
skin tone bras, and I like how the guy, even when he was like he wasn't very privy to it, but he was like, "Well, don't wear like this loud color bra that you can see through things, and stuff like that."
So he was mostly also talking about like just being conscious of how the bra looks with other apparel too.
Right. What did women say about it?
They don't really match anything. Yeah,
but I definitely don't feel like going to look.
Yeah,
all right.
They didn't really. It was skin tone wasn't a big deal for them. They would choose nude colors. So
yeah, I mean, we definitely came from an era growing up where, it was the typical black, white, nude, and then now we're in an era where we see they've even changed what nude is because they realize it's definitely not everyone's nude.
Yeah.
So they've changed the names of different things among not even just with bras, but like a lot of things. And they are becoming more inclusive by offering different shades. And then, we even have businesses that are dedicated to providing various shades for things, just like how they have different shades for makeup and stuff. Yeah, they have that for bras as well. Bras, hosiery,
Yeah. Ooh, I remember them panties. Not panties, but
The pantyhose.
Pantyhose way back in the day.
Yeah.
I hate wearing them now. I hated them as a kid too. But like you can find, I'm in white, I'm in pink, I'm in red. Can I get brown?
Yes. I remember that too, being on a dance team, and we all had those nude looking tights.
Which was not your nude.
No, not at all.
I remember when we was it was product development for Bounceless, and someone was mentioned something about nude. I'm like, who's nude?
Right.
Like,
now that I think about it, just thinking back, like we were really out there, all melanated, wearing these lighter
like
tights. Because like that
it don't
work
look
out. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about us back on the dance scene. Like we were really out there wearing these light colored tights, and I don't think anyone really thought it. I mean, we might have said some things, but not like it wasn't on some let's boycott this or something like that. It was just we
But I even
accepted it.
see it now. I haven't. It was a homecoming game at an HBCU a few years ago. But I don't know if it's just to keep everybody in uniform. But you could like the bottoms of all the girls was just not
Their skin color.
It's at an HBCU, and it was just so light.
Might still be traditional stuff, but
Yeah.
we I was gonna say when I first started uplifting and I went to Curve, the trade show for all of this stuff, there was a lady I met that was creating a hosiery line. I think she used to dance for the Nets or something. Jets.
Somebody.
Yeah. I think it was a New York team. But anyway, so she was a dancer. That's why she created it. And then I remember she had some with the like bedazzled ones with the little rhinestones, and that became a thing. So I cannot think of her name right now, but she did real well for sure, and is still doing real well. I think even one of our other guests, Angela from Honey Clouds, I think that she has her stuff in one of her stores, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
If I
and she
read that
focuses
correctly.
on diverse
Yeah.
nudes.
But this lady, it was called Nude Bear, but
Okay.
Bear was spelled like Barre.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it also went with dance and stuff too.
That
So
makes
yeah.
sense. So yeah, it's good to see that things are coming along for options.
Yes.
For folks out there.
And then speaking of which, I mean, talking about that in Black History Month, like we have a lot of companies like New Bear and also like Uplifted who are also a part of Black Breast History Month.
Oh, okay.
That you think about it.
Yeah.
Because with her, it was I guess pioneering the hosiery line. For me, it's not a line, but I'm just a Black person making history with the breast.
Yeah.
And you are as well.
Yeah, making sure that, because I mean, Black History Month is important, and we are making strides. Making sure that we are included in the products that are being made.
Yeah.
And although it can be made for other people, but we want to make sure that we are part of the process of bringing products and services to the world as well. So yeah, definitely making history.
And just making sure that, I mean, when we think about it, BoobTube is part of that history too, because coming together to bring all of this information to people, like put it all in one spot.
Yeah.
And it be such a variety of things regarding breasts. So,
I'm thinking through the directory we have, so many, companies are Black owned and just try to make a difference in the world of, a lot of it is a focus on full bust women too. Right. But, there's still folks who of all breast sizes who can tap into resources provided. So really, BoobTube is, making strides and being a resource for folks.
We the plug.
Get your stuff. Check out the directory for real, to see where you can find some good products and services.
So you have some other companies in mind, I guess, that are contributing to Black History Month.
Yeah.
Black Breast History Month.
Yes. Our recent guest, Elaine, with bra recyclers.
Oh yes,
that's a good way because a lot of people do throw away bras,
Right.
but there's a good cause behind what she's doing with the bra recycler. So.
And who else? We had Deka,
Mm-hmm.
and that's definitely good because it's all about the breast health and holistically, so that's good too.
Yeah, I think that's for me. That's like all of it is really important. But I'm just so
For sure.
impressed with Deka and what she's doing because again, I just learned so much from that. But great work there too.
And then of course can't mention that episode without mentioning the one with Keisha
Yeah,
and
right.
Cassie, the breast surgical oncologist and the former patient care
Yes.
coordinator.
And I think it's important for us to see folks in those fields, and just like even for young folks coming up to see like people doing the services and
Yeah.
making the products, so that they can like, oh, this was made by a Black person or a Black person provides this service. I think it's important so they can see what opportunities are available for them.
Right, for sure. I can see that a lot. But we talked about it in other episodes with different things, like how there a lot of Black women are the ones that are in need when it comes to breast health and stuff like that. So it's always good to see people that look like you that are involved in things that you need or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So it's a community of women, Black women out there making history with the products and services and being trailblazers in it too. There's actually a woman, well, eventually this will probably get to breast health too, but she's a Dr. Hadiya, Dr. Green. Anyway, she's found a cure for cancer using laser. Tested it in rats and everything, and trying to go on to human subjects. She might be there now, but that will be major when it comes to breast cancer.
For sure.
And a Black woman has pioneered that.
A Black woman did it.
It took her. She went through struggles, but
of course she did.
Yeah.
We also can't forget a very big one that's doing some things in this breast community.
Who?
Rihanna.
Oh,
yeah.
Fenty Savage. Savage
Yeah.
Fenty. I messed it up. Savage Fenty.
Fenty Savage. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, she definitely came in and changed the game and stuff with Savage Fenty. I know a lot of people really like it and shop there.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes it to where it's like cute, sexy stuff. Oh, there's that other brand, that Shop La Vera.
I've heard of them. I haven't checked it out.
They have some really nice models. Like I saw something where they had a runway with their models the other day. I was like, man, she has a really nice body in the whole heterosexual way.
Yeah.
I talk about men and women's bodies.
Yeah.
But I like the men's ones in a different way. But yeah, they have models with some really nice bodies, and they make skin tone stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll
they
have to
have
check them out.
really dark, like all the way to a really dark brown to ahead of that. Yeah, so I like Shop La Vera because they do focus on the skin tones, and it's cute lingerie. Like it's cute, sexy lingerie, and they also have nice looking models.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Gotta have those. Models I once did a conversation with some models, and it's like the models are the hangers. When you think about it for clothes, they gotta look good. Hangers don't have to look good, but the models do, since they're holding the clothes down.
That's true.
Yep. All right. Anything
So
else?
between that, like the lingerie itself, and then the accessories, again, we've seen a shift. So like nipple covers and slips and stuff, like you mentioned, Honey Clouds definitely does that, and some others too for sure. Boob tapes, all those types of things we're starting to see in various colors, various shades.
Yeah.
And some of those are also made by Black women too, so that's cool.
Yep.
So I mean, personally, shout out to, of course, everyone, but but it's Black History Month and Black Breast History Month.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to shout out to all of the Black women. There might be some men too, but we especially want to shout out all the Black women who are doing a thing in this whole boob game that we're part of.
Definitely.
Yeah. Whether you are an employee at a shop or something, or owning your own business, or the behind the scenes person, it's really cool what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
And we gonna keep doing what we do. So, in honor of Black History Month, we have here Ade of Nubian Skin. She is the CEO and founder, and we can't wait to get a lot of information from her about her brand and everything that she does. So welcome, Ade.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. So firstly, we of course want to know what made you get into Nubian Skin, into creating Nubian Skin.
Yeah, so essentially I created Nubian Skin because it was something that I wanted and I needed. I was working in corporate at the time, and a lifelong issue I'd had was I just wanted a nude bra. Like I just wanted a bra that was brown, that matched my skin tone. And I could never, ever find one. And I remember I had a bra that was brownish. It was like a metallic-y brown bra, and it wasn't my skin tone, but it was brown. And I wore that thing to death. Even just because I was like, it's a brown bra. And so I'd go into shops and I'd say, oh, could I have a nude bra? And they'd give me something that was beige. And I'd say, do you have a bra that's nude for me? And they would just be like, oh, well, you can wear a black bra, which obviously, as we all know, you know,
it's not nude.
That's not the color of our skin. And so I remember just having this recurring problem. And then finally, I'd always been thinking about a business that I wanted to start myself. And it was like the light bulb just went on. And I thought, nobody's actually doing this, because I'd like spent hours on Google searching. I was like, that's it. I'm going to create it. If nobody's doing it, I'm going to do it. And so that was the beginning. It was really just wanting something that I couldn't find.
I love the name. And I've always come across that too. When you're looking for nude, I'm like, who's nude? Because it's always the typical light skin nude, but nude is in all colors. So I definitely love that name, Nubian Skin. Were you gonna say something, Jaleesa?
I was just saying, what year was this that you decided to start it?
So the idea I came up with in 2011, and we launched 9 years ago. We launched in 2014.
Understand that long-term product development.
I came up with my idea in 2011 and launched in 2013. So it's pretty close.
Oh, yeah. You were a little bit more efficient than me.
Well, I wasn't creating a project. I can imagine that takes a lot longer.
I think I was learning to sew in 2011. All right. What led you to get into the market of prosthetics?
So that was a really amazing opportunity, and actually one that's really close to my heart, because I have women in my family who have had breast cancer. And I was approached in 2022 or 2021, actually, by an amazing doctor called Natalie Johnson. And she worked for the Royal Marsden Cancer Trust, which is a huge sort of cancer trust in the UK. And she, as a breast care surgeon, and she's a Black woman herself, had noticed, along with Sarah Adoma, who was a breast care nurse, these are both Black women, they noticed they had so many patients that were coming in, and they'd have a mastectomy, so they'd have to have their breast removed because of cancer. And then during the recovery process, they're given a softie. So the first prosthesis you're given after you have your breast removed is a soft prosthesis, which you can put into your bra to create symmetry. And they were noticing that their patients were being given these softies, which were flesh colored, but they were beige. So you can imagine you're a Black woman or an Asian woman, or, you know, like whatever, a woman with darker skin, You've just had your breast removed, so that's like incredibly traumatic for so many reasons anyway. You're recovering from cancer, and everybody knows that recovery is also psychological as well as mental, as well as physical. And they say, here, this is going to make you feel better. And they give you something that just doesn't match your skin tone. And she called me and she was like, Ade, do you think you can help? I've reached out to the manufacturers of these things and I've been ignored, but I know that these women need it. And I was like, I mean, first of all, obviously, immediately understood, right? Like, got it. I was like, I've never done a softie in my life, but we're going to figure out how to make this happen because, you know, I created the colors that we use in our brand. They're bespoke to us, and we have fabrics that we've had dyed into these colors. And so I was like, you know what, we're going to figure it out. And so we spent, we basically spent months figuring out how do you make a softie using our fabrics, making sure it got tested. And the Royal Marsden, very, very amazingly decided to sponsor a pilot program. And so we did an initial run of these prostheses. And then it launched at the Royal Marsden for their patients. And I think for Natalie, because it was her idea, she just felt like as a doctor, she was now, because we were able to help her create these products, give her patients something that was really going to help with their healing. And a few months later, I remember we did an event, and this woman, she must have been in her 50s, she came up to our stand, and I wasn't there, but she left a video recording, and she was pouring blessings on like our team, because she was just like, you have no idea what it meant to me to have something that made me feel whole. So it's just incredibly moving. But that's the story behind the prostheses. Again, that's why representation is so important. It was a Black doctor and a Black nurse who saw the pain of their patients and then said, the companies that are making these aren't going to do anything about it. Let me reach out to a Black business and see if they're going to help.
All of that. That is like you're helping. You and the doctors have come together to solve a real problem for so many women, and it is heartfelt. I think I watched that video. If you have that up on your site or social media of that woman,
on
I think
Instagram.
Yes, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, because I can resonate with all of that, not personally, but with family members as well.
I think that one, I just like how that whole thing worked out and how you were used as a vessel to help solve a problem that exists. And then it also makes me think of, I don't know exactly what we were talking about, me and my brother, and just like the skin tone things. And he was like, I just wonder, like, these companies, what are they thinking? Are they just like, yeah, let's just put out one color, one skin tone, and this will be okay? And it's like, no, it won't. So I don't know what the companies were thinking there too. And when they even expressing like a concern, and they're still just like, nope, we're gonna keep it like this. One
Yeah.
color fits all.
No, and it just goes to show the lack of concern, because there are women of various skin tones who are needing just regular bras to match their skin color, but also, again, back to the women who have had mastectomies. There are a lot of women of color who are leading they're having the most concerns when it comes to this particular issue with cancer. So it's important to meet their needs, and it's sad that a lot of companies are not doing so. So thank you, Nubian Skin, for filling in that gap. And thank you to the doctors who saw that problem and wanted to step in for their patients.
And I was just gonna say what you said, it was already a traumatic experience for various reasons. So it's like the last thing that you want is to have the skin tone of another breast on where yours used to be. So it's like, I removed mine to replace it with something that doesn't represent me.
Yeah.
Would you say that you face challenges due to your race and or gender being in the industry that you're in and making the products that you're making?
Yeah, it's so funny because I used to when I was asked this question, I used to say no, because I was like, Black women basically built this brand. It's for Black women. And then as I went through a really, really, really hard period where I started to feel like I was failing as an entrepreneur, because I was like, this should be more profitable by now. Like, why aren't we growing it? You know, and I was getting so frustrated and really beat myself up about basically just not being as good in business. And then I broke it down and I was like, what is the issue here? Because like the product's amazing, like I've got my supply chain, you know, like everything is, and all of our products. So when we make a bra, there's lots of parts that go into a bra. For instance, let's take the bras as the prime example, because that's probably our biggest product. We do the straps and the hook and eyes and the fabric and the like covering that goes over the underwire. Every little piece of the bra has to be custom dyed, because none of those, the factories that make the fabric, the hook and eyes, the straps, they make beige nude, they make black, they make white, maybe they'll make some fashion colors, but none of them make brown nudes. So whereas a normal brand could go in and say, I need 100 meters of black fabric and 100 meters of black straps and 500 or 50 hook and eyes, I go into these suppliers and I say, I need this. These are the colors that I need. So first of all, I'm supplying them the color reference. And then they say, absolutely, we can do that for you, but you're going to need to buy a minimum of 1,000 meters of each color. So that's times 4. And then I need to buy about, they're like, and for the straps, that's probably going to be 5,000 meters of each one. And if you need different widths, that's another 5,000 per width. And so after years of beating myself up and answering this question, I realized it's like trying to swim with a weight on your ankle, because before I can even make one product, I've got to do all this work, basically spend all this money just to be able to be at the starting point of many other counterparts. And then you add on top of that, we're an independent business. So it's, so I used to answer this question very differently. And now, after many years, 9 years doing this, I can very clearly see where creating something that is for mainly Black people has been a hindrance. Not because of the product itself, because the product is beautiful and my audience is amazing, but because just to be able to create the product, I've got to work so much harder and put so much more money into it.
Because it doesn't, a lot, what you have does not exist. Like
Exactly.
You have to do so much work for them to get it. Yeah. I can definitely see all that. So it's it's almost like the industry was not set up for you to be able just to enter to serve your customers.
First, I had to create the colors, and then every time we have to produce something, it's a huge capital outlay, which I could be spending on, marketing or PR. But I've got to, I've got to order a minimum of the components in order to get it done. So, so that was the moment though where I was able to give myself grace and go, this isn't about you. You're working, you're swimming, like against the current.
Makes so much sense. So shout out to those entrepreneurs. Shout out to you and other entrepreneurs out there who are paving waves, because that's essentially what you're doing, is paving the way for, people to come after you. You're kind of just breaking through those waves and making it a pathway for yourself. So shout out to you for that.
And that's something I wouldn't have thought about, but it makes perfect sense of having to get the special colors. So you have to get even more fabric. So it makes sense. But perhaps, this could be part of leading to these companies starting to make these colors already, so that it's not like a special order. It's like, oh, we already have
Amen to that. Let's hope. Let's hope.
So we're not asking who's nude again, like, because that's always my question. Who's nude?
Who's nude? And I wanted to also, you were saying that you were coming up with the colors as well. And I wanted to know, like, how was that process? How did you go about choosing the color?
Goodness. So one of the reasons it took so long from 2011 to 2013 is because the colors just didn't exist, right? Like you can't go to a fabric supplier and say, give me all your brown nudes. And I mean, they were like, this is the color card, right? And so the first thing I did was go to different makeup counters. So this is all the way back in 2011, 2012. And surprisingly then, I mean, you know, the industry has moved on. The beauty industry has moved on so much since then. But I remember going into shops and there were brands that just didn't have shades for Black women. I mean, it's amazing to think about, right? Like this is in 2011, 2012. And I remember there were maybe like 5 brands that had a good selection for dark skin, right? Like this didn't just have like the one random dark color and then, you know, good luck if it works, if not, whatever. And so it was speaking to those brands and sort of going, okay, what are your most popular shades like across the spectrum? And so once I got all of those, I then had a swatch of Pantone. It was like a Pantone skin color. And I tried to match them. And I thought I matched them and I sent them off to, you know, the factory to be like, okay, can you put these into like a fabric? And they came back and I was like, right, this is not a skin color. This is just like a random, like, these aren't going to work. And so then it was a process of refining the colors and saying, okay, it needs to be more like, it needs to be richer, it needs to be deeper, it needs more yellow, it needs more red. Literally doing that back and forth until I was like, oh my goodness, this is like a skin tone, right? This isn't just like chocolate, you know, brown or whatever. That was like, this is a color that's like a rich, beautiful skin tone. And so I got the solid colors done, and then I needed to sort of translate that to the colors for the hosiery, for the pantyhose. And I got 2 of the colors, and then there were 2 more. And I literally remember I was in my kitchen and I had pots of coffee and tea. So I was like, did black tea, did red tea, like rooibos, and then did coffee, like different strengths, and dipped the tights in them, you know, let them dry. And then I was like asking a few friends, I was like, can you come over, and testing the colors. And so I was like, right, these are the 2 colors, like these are the ones. And then sent that off to the factory. I was like, you need to match these colors, like these are the colors. So yeah, so that was you know, now that I think back at it, it was really funny and it was fun, but that was the process.
That's
it's
so
a beautiful
smart.
process. Yes. You have to get your innovative.
So you use tea and coffee on stockings, like, oh, yeah, that's perfect.
And sometimes it seems like the simplest ideas get us to where we need to be. So I look at that. I can see that. It's beautiful.
We talked about the challenges you face just with the production of everything, but just overall as an entrepreneur and, you know, CEO and founder, would you say that there are some other challenges that you face, and maybe something that you can advise to others that are doing the same or that will come in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one of the biggest things is just, as an entrepreneur, granting yourself grace, because I know I can be my own, like my harshest critic, because I have such high expectations of myself, but in a way that I just wouldn't of somebody else. Like, you know, I would be so much kinder and so much more understanding. And so I think that's a really big one, is just make room to give yourself grace, because you're going to be working so hard. And when it's your dream and it's your passion, you take it really seriously. But sometimes it's like, is this life or death? Like, take a step back. And then I know for me, one of the big challenges I've had is, obviously we were a first mover, right? Like in the industry, this didn't exist when we launched in 2014. And obviously over time, people go, ooh, that seems interesting. And so if you're a first mover, if you're doing something really, really innovative, there will be other people that will do, like, that will come in and, you know, and you'll get competitors. And so I think that's something that's quite challenging to deal with. And so one, you know, as best as you can, obviously protect your brand. So if you have a brand, make sure it's trademarked. Sorry, some noise in the background. Make sure it's trademarked, make sure all your registrations are done properly. And then know that there will always be competition. I used to literally have panic attacks about it. There will always be competition. So really focus on when you create a product, when you create a brand, fostering your community and staying true to it. Like, don't get too distracted by like, what's this person doing? What's this person doing? Obviously be aware of your market, but be true to your values and your company or your brand's mission. And then I'd say probably another thing I would say is learn to ask for help. All entrepreneurs need help. And sometimes, our pride makes it so that we're like, no, I want to look like I've got it all together. But everybody needs help. Like, everybody needs help. Nobody can do it on their own. So yeah, I'd say there's a few little bits that I would of advice I'd give to aspiring entrepreneurs or already entrepreneurs.
Those are great bits.
They are, because all of those things are definitely relatable for sure.
Yes. To you, why is it important to represent various skin tones in your products?
I mean, I created the brand because I just I couldn't find what I needed, but also like I love my skin tone, like I love it. And I love so part of my childhood, I grew up in Nigeria. My family's Nigerian, and I love particularly Black beauty. Like, I love the difference in skin tones. I think the dark, deep colors are beautiful. I think light colors. I think the spectrum is beautiful, and I think it deserves to be honored. And so I wanted to create a product that celebrated that, because our skin it tells histories, and it has so much meaning, and it's beautiful. So it should be celebrated.
It should. Love that. I love all of that. And I think you're speaking volumes to, the confidence that exudes when you have the representation as well, because you don't have to settle. And I think for years, for centuries, we've settled for what was just provided, given to
settling.
us.
I like, no, do not settle.
So thank you for being bold and getting out there and just loving who you are in your own skin, because that is what transcends from your brand. It's going to transcend into the communities as well.
Yeah, there's already a lot of settling that goes into bra shopping as in general.
True.
I mean, that's why I started my company, just from that alone. So the settling when it comes to finding something that matches your skin tone is on another level, because growing up wearing nude stockings.
Oh gosh.
There. Or anything, it's like, this is not my nude. Like, why do I have
ashy?
Yeah, like, why are these beige and my legs are not beige? So with just undergarments in general, and it also just looks great when you're able to have on undergarments that match your skin tone. Like, it hits differently.
It really does. Like, I have, and that's why I wanted to create the brand, because now I've got beautiful, like, either if it's sheer and then it's just like seamless underneath, or you've got like kind of like cutouts and things, and you're like, it's just easy, and it should just be that way. And also I love when you've got on, like, even if you're just getting ready in the morning and you look in the mirror and you've got something that matches your skin, and it's like a celebration of yourself, just like in a little way, right?
And imagine that's for adults. Like, I'm thinking back, and this is my son. This was about 3 years ago. I always asked on the first day of school, what do you want to be when you grow up? And this is coming from a 6-year-old. He said brown, like I am now. And I was just thrown off. I'm like, what? Okay, so I mean, kids are paying attention, and I think we have to pour into them at an early age, that your skin is beautiful. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, I love that.
Well, as we're giving you all this positive feedback, what is some feedback that you've received from customers, or even to people that you supply to, or businesses you supply to? How's that been? Hopefully positive.
So I remember, especially at the beginning, one of the most beautiful things was getting messages from people saying, thank you for making me feel seen. And I think as an entrepreneur, sometimes things get really, really hard, like very hard. And messages like that are, you know, the things that keep you going, right? Because you're like, I am having an impact. Like when people think about, you know, sometimes I joke, I'm like, oh, I make bras and pants, like, ha, ha, ha. But then when I think about legacy and the impact, have I made the world a better place for every single woman that feels seen and feels like her skin is worth being celebrated? Absolutely. So yeah, it's pieces like that. Women saying, thank you for helping me feel seen. I remember there was a lady who was like, I'm like 60 something. This is the first time that I've found tights that are in my color. You know, and I was just thinking, yes, like, yes, that's amazing. So yeah, I think people just feeling appreciated and beautiful and expressing that, that's the feedback, which just like makes my heart sing.
Amen to that.
Yes.
I mean, because even outside of this, I think about certain things that older generations are able to see before they leave this earth. And I guess I didn't really think about that being one of them, even considering I work in the same industry. I never really thought about like, oh, you know, before I left this earth, I was able to see skin tone undergarments. Yeah, that's really cool to be able to give that to someone and be the person that provided them with something they never got to see, for sure not when they were young. But progression in life is
Yes.
always pretty cool. So
Yes.
shout out to you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And
Hopefully, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, hopefully no one ever gave you negative feedback, but that's just
If they do whatever, go about their own business.
yeah.
You've given so much positivity already. But we always like to end on positivity. But before we do that, where can folks find you?
Right. So we are at nubianskin.com. And then all of our handles, whether that's on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter,
Yeah.
TikTok, it's all just at Nubian Skin.
Okay,
All one
perfect.
word.
All right. And then just in general, any words of positivity that you would add into what you've already dished out today? Anything else you would like to add?
I think it's one of the things that I love to do is just like every now and then just take time to celebrate yourself. Like look at things that you know, have accomplished and just little things, and just celebrate yourself and celebrate your skin and celebrate, I don't know, celebrate who you are, because you have to do things like that. That's something I just think it's being kind to yourself, and I think it's lovely.
I love it.
Is there a certain way that you celebrate yourself and the skin that you're in? Just curious.
No, you know what? I actually now like make time each week, and I'll be like, you know what? And it's something little, like maybe I'll be like, I don't drink, so I'm like, I'm gonna make myself a lovely mocktail, or I'm gonna go get an ice cream, and I'll literally sit there for like 5 minutes, and I'll just be like, cheers to me. Like I've done really well.
I love that.
Just because it's like just take a little moment. It was actually something that my therapist suggested I do, because as I said, I'm my own harshest critic. So it's actually it's really lovely and it's fun to do. So literally just give yourself a little treat and give yourself 5 minutes to just be on your own and like celebrate yourself.
Because I'll probably do that.
Yeah, it's great to say positive things to yourself, because you don't always hear them from others or just other sources. So like the way that you're your own toughest critic, you have to be your biggest cheerleader too.
I love that. That's absolutely.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed this. Did you have
Yes.
any? I mean, I was so
heartfelt.
happy to be able to speak to you about this. Like, I think that what you're doing is really cool. I saw an article a while ago, don't ask when, but I saw the article a long time ago about the prosthetics. I was like, wow, like this is really good. And I was, cheering for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yeah, we are. The US is like just amazing. And I did university in US. Like I just love it, and we're trying to like broaden our reach out there. So
you got to make a trip.
Yeah,
then
exactly. Well,
we
we've
can link
started.
up.
We've got the inventory over there, so I'll be like, "Hi, I'm in Texas. What I do?"
We'll show you some good eating.
I know the ribs, right? Like the barbecue. That's what I've heard. Famous.
Yes, we're definitely known for that. So you'll get some good eats here for sure. You might go back a little heavier, but you can kind of be like
It'll be worth it. I don't mind.
It'll come off
I'll
later.
come with like stretchy trousers.
Yes, wear tights, bring a lot of loose clothing, things
that
you
can
breathe in.
stretch.
Oh, well, thank you so much, ladies. It's such a pleasure chatting with you.
You
Of
as
course,
well.
same
Thank
here.
you.
So yeah, make sure that y'all stay connected with us. We have Patreon. You can support us that way and get some extra stuff that everyone else isn't getting. You can also find us on social media. Of course, we're on Instagram and TikTok. Email us, whatever it is that you want to do, but stay connected. Make sure that you are also shopping our merch on our website. And stay tuned as we come back the Tuesday after next to bring in the spring. Till then, adios.